Here's a song called Wonderful.
You are perfect in your own way. You are beautiful in your own way. Every day now, make it your day, 'cause it's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way. Life has chose you to express yourself just as you are, just as you are, without fear. Plant a new thought, watch it grow up in its own way. Life has chose you, life has chose you to express yourself just as you are. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. A one in a billion is what you are. That alone changed the world. I am grateful, I am grateful. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. And if you're tuning in for the first time, I want you to know that agape simply means love, unconditional love. As Martin Luther King described it, the love of God operating through the human heart, the love of the infinite, the total acceptance of life, of you as a unique being. So thank you for joining us today. Hey, if you're out there, you're either on Facebook, you're on YouTube, whatever platform you're on, check in. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from. Just let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know any questions you've got. Let me know whether you like this or you dislike it. Say hello to other people that are watching. Whatever it is, but do interact with us, because it helps me understand who's out there and what maybe you're going through. So if things come up during the course of this service today, the topic that I'm going to be talking about, and you have a question, write it down, because I'll get back to you. I'll answer it. You know, one of the things that I have found is that I never know who will hear what on social media. And I'm constantly amazed at how that I didn't even know existed will contact me, take a really brave step, and ask me, how can I? And I give them ideas, because I don't know what's right. So if you're wondering what Agape teaches, we teach a positive, practical spirituality that empowers you to better self-love through conscious living. That's what we do. And so let's just take this and let's slow ourselves down and let's bring ourselves into a different place. So I invite you to sit in a comfortable, seated, upright position with your back straight, your hands gently resting on your lap, and close your eyes. And bring all of your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Knowing that with each breath, you are breathing life. And life is breathing you. You are nourishing and you are purifying. So let yourself relax. Just let your body go and let it just be relaxed. There's no reason it has to be stressed, no reason it has to be alert. It can just relax. And now I invite you to let your mind, tell your mind it's okay. Tell your little ego, it's okay, I'm safe. You can just rest for a while. And allow all thoughts to gently pass through your mind without examination, without judgment. Just see them moving. You have become the observer by simply shifting your awareness to knowing that you have a body and you have a mind. No one in this world that is more special than any other person. I really want you to take that in and contemplate. There is no one in the world more special than any other person. Now contemplate this. Every person is a unique, whole, and perfect expression of the infinite. No two people are alike. And so while no one's more special and everyone is unique, you're special only because of your uniqueness. Now, your uniqueness does not give you any greater power than anyone else, does not give you any greater wisdom. Your uniqueness gives you a way to express and to experience in life that is different from anyone else who has ever come. There is no good and no bad, no better or no worse. There is just what is. And this is how the observer sees it. This is how the infinite, if the infinite could see, if the infinite could discern, this is how the infinite would see it. Everything unique and everything in balance. Realize it's when we come out of balance that we have extreme shifts in our emotional response to life. But when we bring ourselves back to balance, we find peace, we discover love, we recharge, and we start all over again. So know that the power is within you. Everything you need is right where you are. There is nothing outside of you that's going to give you a greater experience of life than what you already have. So embrace it. Even though it may be difficult, embrace the possibility. And in embracing the possibility, we move one step closer to a higher level of awareness, a higher ability to consciously create our life experience that is perfect, whole, complete, and yes, unique to us. So take a moment and go into gratitude. Gratitude for you. Gratitude for your uniqueness. Gratitude for that uniqueness that makes you special. filled with gratitude, bring your awareness back to this time, to this place. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome this magnificent moment. Well, today I'm beginning a new talk series. My talk series is titled Our Hidden Power. It's based on the work of Frederick Bales, and he is a contemporary of Ernest Holmes. So we're going to be looking at science of mind through the viewpoint of Bales, through the interpretation and viewpoint of me. So there's all sorts of things. So you're going to get a lot of great wisdom about this hidden power. And today, part 1, we're going to be talking about the cure to everything. The cure to anything. And it all resides in our hidden power. And so I want you to come to the understanding that nothing happens by chance. For every effect, there is a precise mental cause, whether you are consciously aware of it or unconsciously unaware of it. Thought always precedes form. There could not be a chair without a thought of a chair. There could not be a sunrise without a thought of a sunrise. There are individual thoughts where there are individual effects. There are collective thoughts, groups of people thoughts that create group effects. There are planetary thoughts that produce planetary effects. Cause always precedes form. That's why Ernest Holmes talked about change your thinking, change your life. Nothing happens by chance. In following up, we believe that there is an infinite, not an infinite being. We don't anthropomorphize God like most religions and religious science. We say there is one creative power in the universe. It is everywhere present and it is within everything. It has always been, it always will be. It's all powerful because there's only one power. If there's only one power and it's everywhere present, then that power is right where you are and right where I am. And the power we use to create our experience is that very power, the one power. There's not a separate Lee power, a separate Bill power, a separate Mary power. No, there's one power. And we get to use it consciously, or we can use it unconsciously. You see, we call the use of this power, this creative power, we call it the law of cause and effect. And any law is our master until we understand it. Once we understand it, we now become the master of it. Simple example of that is electricity. Electricity has always been there. Electricity can kill you, or it can bring you light. It can kill you, or it can cause you to have a refrigerator to refrigerate food. It can kill you. Again, I keep coming back to kill you because it can kill you. Or it can play beautiful music. It's a matter of, do you understand the power? Do you understand how to use it? And when you understand how to use it and you successfully use it, you become its master. You see, to master the law, we must prove that it works for us. Until we prove it, it's just a theory. So many people enter into the study of religious science and we talk about the law of cause and effect, and they get it theoretically. They get the idea. They understand the principle, but they've not taken the time to apply it, to test it, to prove it. When Ernest Holmes created the science of mind, he said, we are religious scientists. meaning we take spiritual principles and we prove them in our lives. I'm proud to declare to you that I am a religious scientist. I'm proud to declare to you that I am a minister that teaches religious science. And you say, well, Lee, you talk about self-love through conscious living. Yes, I teach self-love because as I teach self-love, I teach oneness. When I teach oneness, I teach that there is a power within. When I teach there's a power within, I teach that our conscious living allows us to use that power to create the life that we choose. My greatest desire in life is to be a master of this power. You see, this universal law can be applied and it works in any situation. It can be applied to money, to career, to relationships, to health, to well-being. It can be applied to anything. That's why when we talked about the title for the talk today, the cure to everything. Anything that ails you, anything that you don't have in your life that you want, if you use this power, if you understand this power and you correctly use this power, you'll shift whatever your life experience is. But the work is, you've got to use the power. Jesus, the teacher, said, "It is done unto you as you believe." We come back to those 8 words all the time. Your beliefs create your experience. What are your beliefs? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, your feelings that are aligned toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently, either consciously or unconsciously. Notice that. Because the law gives you what you hold. It gives you who you are. It doesn't give you what you think once in a while. No, it gives who you are. And who you are what you believe. So if you want to know who you are and what you believe, look at your life. I'll be getting into that later today when I'm teaching a class on the secrets of the millionaire mind. If you're not a millionaire, it's because you don't believe that you can be a millionaire. Because if you believed it, you would be that. And so we're going to be discussing in the class our limited thinking and how do we change that. You see, in the old religion, they would tell us that we're punished for our sins. Poppycock. We're never punished for our sins. We're punished by them. You see, a sin is simply holding the wrong thought. What is the wrong thought? A thought not in alignment with what we want. See, if you're holding thoughts of illness and you want wellness, that's a sin. And it's the thought of holding illness in your mind that creates illness. You're not punished for doing something wrong. It's not that you've been a bad boy or a bad girl. You've held a thought or you've not held a thought about being well. Most people think that they're controlled by the winds of society, like a virus going around. Well, people are getting the virus. A lot of people are not getting the virus. A lot of people have gotten the virus and are asymptomatic that have healed easily. A lot of people have gotten the virus that have healed that. Some people have not. Very small portion. What do you believe about you? What I believe is that my immune system can heal anything. And if I had to prove it, yeah, I've been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And I keep turning to that. And I see that it works for me. That's why I use it. That's why I teach it. Because it has worked for me. That's my proof. A great teacher, when someone tells them this is what the truth is, you ask them, what is their proof? And the only proof that's valid is your actual experience. You've demonstrated it. That's the proof that matters. So today, because we're approaching this from the standpoint of Frederick Bales, it'll be a little bit different than Ernest, but the teachings are still there. You see, Joseph Murphy, there are a ton of teachers at the time of Ernest that were teaching basically the law of cause and effect. And each of them presented it in just a unique way, a different way. So that's why I love Frederick. I love the way he teaches. So I wanted to bring you the science of mind from that perspective, so maybe you can hear it a little bit differently. So Fred teaches, you mind if I call him Fred? I'm going to. I'm not into the formal Frederick, but Fred. Fred says there are 3 steps to directing the creative process. Step 1, we must understand the creative law. We must understand the creative law. We must know how it works and what role do we play in directing its power. That's really critical to understand. What role do we play in directing its creative power? So you got to understand there's a creative power. There's one. We got to understand how it works. What did we say earlier? It is done unto you as you believe. And what is our role? We have to direct it. We have to create beliefs that align with what we desire to experience. Financial beliefs, mental beliefs, health beliefs, relationship beliefs, beliefs about love, beliefs about sex, beliefs about everything. Here's the interesting thing. This creative power, this creative law doesn't care if you are white, black, male, female, trans. It doesn't care what your sexuality is. It doesn't care where you live. It doesn't care what your past is. This creative power will respond to the nature of your beliefs, period. There are no parentheses saying only if this, only if that. No, it is done unto us as we believe. That's step 1. Step 2, we must provide this law with correct and clear thoughts to work with. In other words, we must give it a clear and precise image of the desired outcome. Now, realize I said a desired outcome. I didn't say give it the directions on how to do it. You don't give an infinite creative power the hows. It can figure out so many different ways that you've not ever thought about. Your job is not to do the how. Your job is to do what, and to be very, very, very clear on what it is you want. You see, this law turns our belief into form or life experiences. And I said form because that's what people tend to think they want. No, people don't want really form. They want the experience that they've associated with the form, that they've attached, the meaning they've attached to driving a convertible. What's the meaning of driving a convertible? The wind blowing against and blowing your hair back, the sunshine hitting your skin, the feeling of freedom. That's what a convertible means. I had a convertible for 16 years because I loved that freedom, that feeling. Once I had the convertible, it didn't matter what kind of car it was. It really didn't. It was the feeling that I got from it. You see, our role is to build a belief that is a conscious choice about what we want to experience. Now, hear about that. The key thing there, it's a conscious choice. It's your conscious choice. It's not the choice of what your mom wanted for you, what your dad wanted for you, what the business wants for you, what maybe your prior religion wants for you, not what your wife or your husband want for you. It's not what your children want for you. It's not what your best friend wants for you. It's not what society wants for you. It's what you want for you. Remember, you are a unique expression of the one. Therefore, what you want will be unique to you. So stop worrying about what anyone else wants for you. Give it up. It's not relative. It becomes actually a prison that holds you back from demonstrating. Step number 3. See, we understand the power and how it works. Step 2, we create a clear image of it. And step 3 is we must release our belief that we've created to the law and know that it is done. Now, it's not just wishing here. Remember, we talked about your thoughts, words, actions, and feelings aligned toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently and consciously, which in turn becomes a new unconscious belief for us. So don't think there's not action. Don't think there's not work involved. Holding a thought, speaking that thought only. You can't go in and say, oh, I'm going to have the most wonderful relationship. It's going to be so easy. And then talk to your friends and say, you know, my relationships in the past, they've been so hard. You've destroyed what you're creating. Remember, it's persistent and consistent. When you are not persistent and consistent and you say the opposite, you dig up the seed you planted in the garden of life. And the seed can't possibly grow. So you got to plant it again and then be persistent and consistent. If you dig it up again, it comes up. Most people are planting and digging up, planting and digging up, planting and digging up, planting and digging up. You ever see that in your own life? Don't answer. You probably have. You see, once the belief is released, we've released it, knowing the law is working, we must go about our affairs, our life, knowing that our demonstration is in the power of the law, and therefore it is done. So when we do prayer at Agape, when we do spiritual mind treatment, we declare God is all there is. We declare I am one with it. We're actually understanding the creative power. Then we're going into the realization, I am healthy. We're making a declaration now, I am healthy. Believing it in thoughts, words, and actions and feelings. And then we go into the state of gratitude, giving thanks that it is already done within our mind. Because if it's done in mind, remember, thought comes before form. If it's done in our mind and we're grateful for it, the form is simply a natural outpicturing. And then we release any and all concern because we know that the power of the law has taken it and it is now being brought forth into time and space, into this life. So this power can cure anything. The key is for you to start to understand it, start to use it by creating your own mental image, your own mental belief in a particular area of life, prove it for yourself, and then start addressing everything that you can imagine in your life. We'll continue this series for the next probably 8 weeks. But the power, it's within you. It's always been within you. Your job is not to go find a guru that can make your life easy. Your job is to discover the guru that is you. Let's pray. So I know right here and now there is only one. It is infinite, it is all-knowing, it is everywhere present. It has always been, it always will be. It is the seen, the unseen, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. It is the past, the present, the future, and exists only in this eternal now. There's nothing other than it. So knowing that to be true, I know that I and you and each person listening to this is an individualization of it, unique, whole, and perfect. I know that there is no duplication within the infinite. Why? Because the infinite does not need to duplicate anything because it is infinite. Therefore, I know that I am unique. I know that you are unique. And unique is already perfect. I make a declaration now that the eternal wisdom that is everywhere present, that is present within me and present within you, now comes forth and guides and directs myself and directs each person listening to a deeper clarity of this power, a deeper realization of the individual spiritual truth and the collective spiritual truth. And with that truth, any fear, any hesitation to use this power disappears. It's gone. It's wiped away. Cannot exist because there's actually nothing to fear. Everything in the universe is working for each of us based on how we use the creative power within us. I so know that to be my truth, and I so know that to be the truth for each of you. And so I go into a state of beautiful and complete gratitude, giving thanks for this understanding, for the clarity of this understanding, for the vision of this understanding, for the power of this understanding, and for the demonstrations that are now being brought forth in my life and the life of each person listening. Knowing that to be true, and because I am grateful, I release it into the power of the creative law, knowing that it is now done. And being done, I say with you, and so it is. Amen. What I love about spiritual mind treatment is all we're doing is becoming aware of the power within us. That's what I love about spiritual mind treatment. It's rediscovering who we are. So if this message resonated with you today, I invite you to make a gift, make a donation to Agape. Why? Because when you receive something, it's only natural to give something in return. And with your gift, we can bring this teaching to more and more and more people. We're now discovering, how do we build a hybrid church, a new type of spiritual center? And we're looking at coming back weekly, every week, and live and in person. We're looking at that maybe the middle of September, if not the middle of September, for sure the middle of October. And your donations are going to help us do that. But rest assured, even though we may be coming back live in person on Sunday, we're still going to be doing all of the events that we do for all of our worldwide online community, because you are every bit as much a part of us as people who come in person. We understand that the world is our playground. And my greatest joy is at some point in my life is to meet all of you wherever you are. So go ahead, hit the give button that's in the link on Facebook or on the YouTube, or go to agapespiritualcenter.com and make a donation. After you made that donation, go to agapespiritualcenter.com, click on classes. You can still sign up for the class today at 1:30. It's 6 weeks. It's on creating a millionaire mind. If you want to be wealthy, this is the class for you. If Sunday afternoon doesn't work for you, Tuesday evenings at 6:30, we're doing the same class. Sign up today. Be a part of it. Be with like-minded people. And let's test this thing. Let's prove this thing for ourselves. While you're on the calendar, notice that we do meditation every morning. Join me. There's a Zoom link. It's all free. Join me for meditation. Connect in oneness with like-minded people. Give yourself the gift of quiet. But most of all, as you go through this day, give the world the gift of your uniqueness. Be you. Because when you're being you, you give me and everyone else you meet the opportunity to accept, which means love you just like you are. Go create that great week. Until next time, aloha.